I'd like to welcome everybody to this ribbon cutting ceremony for the skate park. On behalf of the City Council, we have Sydney Simmons here, Wendy Cato, Chris Hawkins. Forrest Fleming cannot be with us, but we're so excited to have this for our young people and some of our older adults who like to come out and take a chance on a skateboard. I'd like to thank several people, special recognition. I know some of these people will be thanked later. The Morganton Parks and Recreation Foundation, which contributed a lot of money. City of Morganton, of course, put money in. The Morganton Optimist Club, Morganton Service League, the Tony Hawk Foundation, and a lot of private donations. So thank you so much for this. I also like to thank Andy Talent and the recreation staff. They took a bank that just could not have grass or shrubs planted on it and somehow got it to stick, and it looks great. Y'all did a great job getting it in shape. Thank y'all so much. We've talked a lot for many years about having a skate park, and it finally came to fruition. I was out here the night they poured the last bit of concrete on a Friday night. About 8:30, it was dark. Some man had driven from Boone who wanted to skate. I said, you can't skate tonight, it's just not finished. And public safety did a great job keeping people off. We had to seal it before we could actually use it, and public safety spent a lot of time down here just keeping people off until we can get it sealed. But it is every weekend, and sometimes during the day, this is a crowded spot for people to come. So thank y'all so much. I'm gonna call on Rob Winkler. I guess you're next. If you'll come and give all the history, if you'd like to, how we got started and how we ended up. Okay. Rob, thanks.
Thank you, man. Well, first let me say welcome and thanks for coming. We couldn't have better weather. We were a little concerned, but it turned out really, really nice. So this park was very interesting. When I first came to work here in Morganton, this was one of the first projects that was that had kind of already started and was given to me to run with. And it's one of the most unique parks that I've ever had the privilege to work on. And this park, or this type of park, as you can tell, this isn't from just one person. One person doesn't just come up with this. This takes a collaborative effort from a lot of people. And when we first got into this process, we needed to have some groups and some community meetings. So we went through with that, and we had probably 2 or 3 different community meetings. We had a gentleman by the name of Elliot Lytle who kind of headed this up. He spearheaded a lot of the communication with the public and getting the youth involved. And like the mayor said, not just the youth, but there's a lot of adults that use this park as well. So we were able to sit down and get together, and we formed a lot of ideas that we wanted to see, and things, concepts that we thought would be good for here. So once we got to that point, we took all of our ideas and we submitted them to about 5 different companies. And each one of those companies are well known across not just the United States, but the world with designs. So we sent all our information to them, and we got back about 5 different conceptual drawings. And then we looked at our budget, and we decided on a company called Pillar Designs, who works with artisan skate parks. And they had done quite a bit in Western North Carolina and on the coast as well. So they were very familiar with this area and this terrain. The gentleman from Pillar was named Brad Sidlecki, and Brad was a design guy that could kind of put all this stuff in conceptual form and computer form and show us what we could do. Once we went through all the designs, we had them up. We had a meeting up at College Street Rec. We brought all the public back in. We did kind of a star, kind of like we stuck stars on all the designs, and the one that got the most positive impact was Pillar Designs and Artisan. So we contacted those guys and told them we wanted to work with them. We had another meeting. We had one down at the Mountain View Center, and when we brought Brad in, we went down. We got into the fine bones of this facility, of what all we definitely wanted, and then he went back and did a new design and a plan for financing and how much it was going to be. So when it came out, we had about right at $200,000 is what we had donated total, and I'll go into that in just a second. So, but the value you see out here is probably close to $300,000. And the effort from this community within the city and outside and donations, we were able to make this happen and give a much bigger bang for the buck for our citizens. And one way we were able to do that, and a special thank you is to the city, is to the Public Works Department, because those guys, if you what you see here, if you've got to see any of this process when it took place, it was remarkable. Our Public Works guys built this out of dirt. They pretty much everything we brought in, they formed and shaped for the first time. They'd never done this either, and so they basically, with the contractor, to help save money, they designed this whole thing and basically put the blueprint down on it, where then the contractor just had to come in and then set the concrete on top of it. So it saved us a ton of money, and the contractor can tell you. And his name was Andy Duck, and Andy was great to work with. He just, for the whole time, he said, hey, I'm here for your community. I'm here to add value to it, whatever we can do to help save. And in the end, we saved a little bit of money on concrete. So there's a couple other features in here that was put in that wasn't budgeted, but he had extra money still left over with the concrete, so he put those things in. He's very appreciative of it from the job. But with those two guys, they worked well with our community, and we were able to put this together. And like the mayor said, the biggest challenge was keeping people off until we could get it sealed and get it done. I also want to thank the electrical department for the city. We had to run all new power. Brooks and his guys put in the lighting here. One thing that's kind of unique about the lighting, when we first thought about this, we were concerned about lights on timers. So if you're skating and it's 10 o'clock and the lights go off, now you're skating in the dark. So we kind of thought about that process. So each one of these lights go off individually, so that the citizens know that when the first one goes off, they're going to stagger. It's time to move on. So that was great. And I can't thank my staff enough. This was, like I said, this is a unique terrain. Public Works helped us with this bank. Jim Pless and those guys did a great job. And my guys, they came in, we landscaped a lot of this afterwards. It was tough because we finished late towards the winter. We wanted to get the kids and the folks on it, so a lot of this landscaping stuff has had to come at later times to maintain. And as the mayor said, this facility would not have been possible without the Morganton Parks and Recreation Foundation. I see some few members here. They contributed $90,000 to this project. The City of Morganton put in $75,000. The Morganton Optimist Club put in $15,000. The Morganton Service League contributed $12,000. And then I want to leave out Andy Smith. Where's Andy? He's here. Andy helped us with the Tony Hawk Foundation. He helped us write a grant for that, and we were able to receive $15,000, which helped put us over at the end to be able to do a lot more here. So appreciate Andy. I also saw Judith Francis here. Judith is our Western Regional Representative, and she represents the PARTEF grant, the Parks and Recreation Trust Fund grant. It's helped with a lot of our facilities in Morganton. We've got a soccer complex that we're going to be doing here pretty soon that we're able to get quite a bit for that. So thank Judith for coming. We also had quite a few private donations. Individuals wrote checks and donated money to help this project, and like I said, the whole total lump sum was able to put in what we have here. In the future, we've talked about phasing this. We know we need a shade structure out here. As you can tell, my head's steaming right now. We're talking about maybe building a shelter or something over here. Also, the expansion of this. One thing we talked about, if you can envision, right over here, we'll probably relocate this pole in the future and taking a concrete section over, and then taking this same type structure, flipping it, and having two different facilities here. There's also some talk about a pump track, which is for bikes and skaters that can go through in this area as well. I know I'm missing somebody else. Development and design. I see Michael Burley here. I want to thank Michael and all of Philip's crew for development design. They were involved in this process from the beginning, trying to figure out what we could do with the terrain, how we could control water, erosion, and then beautification projects and everything. So just a great project for the city. This is kind of stuff is what makes Morganton great. These type of opportunities I say recreation. Recreation is something for everybody. You know, it's not just baseball, it's not just softball, it's not just basketball. Recreation means different things to a lot of different people, and I'm proud to be a part of an organization that believes that and sees that and has an understanding for that. And I think, you know, as we move forward and as we progress, Morganton's is definitely on its way up. And you know, I've worked in different locations, and this town is lapping other towns this size. I mean, it really is. And I'm proud to work with everybody here, and I'm proud to work with my staff and the foundation, my rec advisory board. Just got a lot of great people with a lot of great heart. Council, mayor, you got a lot of great people with a lot of great hearts, and I really appreciate it. And next, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Jernigan with the Optimist Club. He's going to speak just a little bit, and thanks for coming, Chris.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good morning. Rob asked me if I'd speak on behalf of the Optimist Club. I had to promise I wouldn't talk about South Mountain Children and Family Services. I wouldn't talk about downtown Morganton, and I wouldn't ask anybody for money. So I don't know. And I had to keep it short. So in order to keep it short, I had to put notes down, because you know, most of you know me and I'll just ramble on and on. But before I get to my notes, I will tell you one little personal thing. A few years ago, I started dating a beautiful young lady that had a son that's at the time of this skate park was about 15 years old, and he was a skater. And I started talking to him a little bit about a skate park and what we were going to do in the city of Morganton, and that I was a part of that. And I became an instant hero for this young man. So thank y'all for helping me to gain the trust and love of this young man. So the Optimist Club of Morganton, well, I have lost part of my notes. How about that? There we go. How you like that? Optimist Club of Morganton was chartered 72 years ago to provide activities for boys and girls that would help them learn, grow, develop their well-being, and experience a sense of accomplishment and pride. Their motto, as with all Optimist Clubs around the world, was Friend of Youth. These community-minded citizens spent their time and energy providing tremendous opportunities for the children of Burke County, such as oratorical and essay contests, bicycle safety programs, sports programs and sponsorship of teams, childhood cancer programs, and the most enduring of our projects, the Soapbox Derby, which still runs every year to this day. But while the Soapbox Derby is our longest running project, the one thing folks remember most about the Optimist Club of Morganton is probably Optimist Park on 181. The place of fun times, cool summer outings, and great memories. But as you can imagine, running such a place by a volunteer organization became more than the group could handle. So the decision was made to sell the property and use the funds from the sale to provide for other projects. I must say the timing was good, because the funds were invested during the stock market heyday and returns were excellent. So because of that sale, the Optimist Club of Morganton has been able to do some pretty awesome things. Through these funds, we were able to be a major player in the creation of Catawba Meadows Park, where the picnic shelters bear our name. We supported the creation of Martha's Park, the first remodeling of the community house. We built a permanent Soapbox Derby track and a storage facility at the Burke County Fairgrounds. We funded the construction of a 99-seat theater for the children at South Mountain on the campus of South Mountain. And now we're a part of providing this beautiful skate park. Like most civic clubs and community service organizations today, the Optimist Club of Morganton has dwindled down to a handful of members who are trying to keep our club active and remain viable in a much different society than it was 7 decades ago. But while the need for such groups may have changed, the needs of young people has not. We still need to find ways to help our children learn, grow, accomplish, and have fun. We are so proud to be a part of this amazing park that we believe does just that. So on behalf of the Optimist Club of Morganton, I want to add our thanks to our city leaders, our recreation director and staff, the hard-working city staff who have put so much actual hands-on labor into this effort, our fellow donors, and the group of skaters, especially Elliot Lytle, who pushed to make this dream a reality. So to all the skaters, young and old alike, on behalf of the Optimist Club of Morganton, skate on.
Chris. Next that's going to come and speak is Abby Nelson. Abby is a representative of the Morganton Service League. I'd like for her to come in.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Abby Nelson, president of the Morganton Service League. And the Morganton Service League has been a proud partner with the City of Morganton Parks and Recreation for well over 15 years. During that time, we have been lucky to work collaboratively on a number of public parks throughout the City of Morganton. And it is with honor today that I get to stand here at this ceremony to celebrate an official opening of another state-of-the-art park. Through the efforts of public interest and activism, guidance from our mayor, city council, and department heads, and hardworking, dedicated city employees, the dreams of a city skate park are now a reality. On behalf of the Morganton Service League, thank you, everybody. I hope that many will visit and enjoy this wonderful space, and I look forward to working with the Parks and Recreation Department on our next park project. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby. Before we do the ribbon cutting, I think, Sanjay, you're going to help me with that. I do want to say one thing that I really want to just tell you how much I appreciate Sally Sandy. I appreciate everything you do for the city. I appreciate you taking a chance on me. Like I said, this was one of the first projects that I was involved with coming here. And, you know, me and my staff, we try to pour our heart and soul in a lot of things, and we try to leave an imprint so that citizens in the future have a place to come and enjoy. So I appreciate you taking a chance on me. I hope it's working out. So thank you. This time I'd like to get everybody in so we can do the ribbon cutting.
Okay, Ethan, you're going to guide them.
On behalf of the citizens, young and old from Morganton, we dedicate this park.